Kyrie, without a doubt, has the most simple and fundamental game in the NBA today, maybe of all time, right? There's a quote that Draymond just said recently where he's like,
Kyrie Irving is the scorer that the world thinks of Kevin Durant.
And that's no disrespect to KD, because I think his game is just as simple. But it's just a thing that it's like I give a little bit of extra points to Kyrie because he's shorter, right? But his game is so basic and fundamental, and he just makes it look so easy because he just mastered the important shots, right? And it's like a lot of people might see a highlight here, highlight there, and they think when you say like, oh, most skilled player, you think about the fact that, every now and then he'll spin the ball off the backboard, or every now and then, he'll do something with his left hand. But it's really because he's mastered the most important skills, right? So what we're going to do today is look at two of those skills, right? And the first one is the pull-up, right? And when I watch Kyrie, what I think of is there's this interview from Kobe, and he's like, the shot he practices the most is the pull-up jumper, because that's the shot you're gonna take like more than anything. You're gonna have to take pull-up jumpers, and you can always change the way you get to the jumper. Like sometimes it might be off a jab step, sometimes it might just be a simple one dribble pull-up. Other times, maybe you have to do a crossover first and then get to your pull-up, or take 2-3 dribbles, right? But you're always going to get to the pull-up. So if you practice that thousands of times, you'll be able to do it. Like, you'll be able to score with these. Someone's in your face, you can adjust. If you got to fade a little bit, like, you can do whatever you got to do because you made the pull-up jumper thousands and thousands of times. So when you watch Kyrie, that's what he gets to. More than anything, he's getting to his pull-up jumper. So we're just going to look at his pull-up, how he uses it, and then there's one more shot that's very similar to the pull-up we're going to look at the end, so make sure you stick around. All right, so I just got these clips, and as you can see, when he's attacking, he likes to get to his spots, pull up, and shoot. Right? So one thing we're looking at here is just like, the first thing I want to look at is where he's shooting from. Okay?
Hugo.
So from the first two clips that you've seen, they've all been below the free throw line. This one's above it, is right at the free throw line, right? But he's getting this one. Look, he shoots this one. Most people would try to force a layup right here. He's getting to a pull-up jumper 4 feet from the basket, if that. Right? So even here, he's getting downhill, and look where he's pulling up. He's getting into a shot at the second hash. So that's the first thing to look at, is just where he's shooting from. It's in the paint, right? So far, we've shown like 5 clips. Only one of them has been right at the foul line, right? So when you're working on your pull-up, don't just go and say, oh, let me get to the elbow and shoot, right? Now, there will be plenty of times where you shoot from the elbow, but the pull-up is effective from any spot on the court. So also practice in the paint, especially in one-on-one situations like this, when you can attack, get the defense to open their hips, and pull up. Again, he's pulling up from a step past the free throw line. Let's go back. Right, so he's getting downhill. He's not forcing the pull up right here, like a lot of people do. Look where he is. a step down, right? He's deep. He's past the free throw line. He's getting to that pull up. This one, he's getting to a pull up on the baseline. He's shooting that literally off the block. Look at this. Look where he's shooting from. He's at the block. These are pull up jumpers, right? So we see where he's shooting them from now. Now let's just take a look at when. All right, and the main time you want to do a pull up is when you're getting downhill and you get the defense to turn their hips. Okay, he's turning his hips. His chest is facing that way, which means all that he can do on defense is try to sprint to recover. And you see that he's up into a shot. All his momentum is still taking him this way because he has to turn his hips and try to sprint to get back in front. All right, so that's the perfect time to use that pull up.
Hugo.
Even here, the defense wants to slide with him. He got him to open his hips. As soon as he gets downhill, he's ready to pull up. And the things you want to focus on now, like more so before he pulls up. So now let's look. Again, he's getting downhill. Look at the defender's hips. Look where his chest is facing. All he can do is try to turn and sprint in front. Kyrie is stopping on a dime. Raising up. Same thing. Clay's chest is facing the sideline. Kyrie is low. Look at where his foot is, right? So look at his leg. Look at the angle on his leg. He's using that first step. He's using his momentum he's stopping his momentum with these steps. All right, so he's taking that first one that straight step right there is stopping his momentum. All right, so he's going downhill. This one, he gets the defense to open his hips. Again, look at the angle of his legs to stop his momentum. So his foot's forward, his weight is still back. Right? His weight is still back. That's what allows him to stop and shoot. Now also, notice that even when he stops on a dime, he gets the defense to go. So again, look at the angle of his leg. It's forward to stop him. His weight is back. Even when he's shooting, right, some of these shots are semi-contested. That's his follow through. That's the defense's hand. All right, so you have to understand that when you're practicing these pull-ups, you have to practice them with the mindset that you're just able to get enough space to get a shot off, but somebody's still gonna be on you. Especially at the elite levels, like you have to be able to make a semi-contested shot. Right? So don't go into the drill and workouts shooting like you're wide open because you're doing a pull-up. Right? He's elevating on every single shot.
Hugo.
That is elevation. Every single shot. All right, so when there's someone in his face, he's elevating. These are real jump shots. All right, you have to be able to get that shot off. All right, so look, he's still getting deep in the paint. His angles of his legs and his weight is back. But he's putting his legs forward basically to stop himself, stop his momentum. He's deep in the paint. He sees the help defender, he pulls up. right? So you see, legs forward, weight back. Pulling up in the paint, deep in the paint. Right? So when you get in the paint, don't be in such a rush and feel like you got to get a layup or you got to do a Euro step or you got to do whatever. Like, you know, especially when you're on defense, you're defending. Once you turn and you're sprinting to the paint, your thought is, oh, this person's about to drive. No, pull up. Get it. An easy shot that you can. This is something that you can practice over and over and over and over and over and over again. Rep it out, right? And even here, so like this is one where he's actually at the free throw line. Feet right on the line. But these are all pick and rolls, right? So the pick and rolls, a lot of times when you're off a pick and roll, those will be a little bit further out, right? So like the other ones we see, he would be right up on the paint. At the pick and roll, he's a little deeper, okay? But that's also to show that you're gonna get to that pick and roll in different situations. That you're gonna get to that pull up in different situations, right? Might be at a pick and roll, might be off a triple threat, might be off ISO. You know what I'm saying? So now the second shot we want to look at is his floater, his 2-foot floater, right? He does a lot of floaters off 2 feet. And he uses them a lot like a pull-up. Right? So if we're looking, he's still getting downhill. The defense is still opening their hips. Chest facing that way. He has them going. And look, this is where he might shoot a pull-up from. But no, now he's shooting a floater. Right? So it's like one way he uses the floater, he uses it a lot like it's a pull-up jumper. That looked like that could have been a fadeaway, right? Here he's dancing, getting to the same spot he does a pull-up from, but now it's a floater, right? So it's like, now it's with the left hand, beautiful. So you want to practice these pull-ups, but you also want to practice floaters too, but you use the floater the same way you would a pull-up. You just get into your spot and rising up over the defense. That's it. Get them to open their hips. Rise up, floater. See what I mean? Get to your spot, rise up, floater. So that's something you want to be really good at, and it's easy, it's simple. It doesn't look like he's working super hard in these clips because he's not. He's just getting to a spot. And that's what people mean when they talk about that for scores, like get to your spots, get to your spots. It doesn't mean get to the corner of the right elbow, right? So for him, it's getting deep in the paint, getting to that open spot on the court, which a lot of times is in the middle of the paint. It's in the middle of the paint, you know, because people are still guarding. A lot of times you're still going to be guarded if you're dribbling right there, and then all the help defense is down here. So the middle of the paint tends to be the open area, right? So he attacks, gets downhill. Look at that. He even does a floater. That could have been a pull-up jumper. He uses it in the same exact way. So when you're working out, these are 2 shots that 1000% need to be in your repertoire. The majority of your shots that you're practicing should be these. Other than catch and shoot, right? Catch and shoot is something that everybody has to be able to do. But other than that, after catch and shoot, your pull-up jumper and a 2-foot floater. That's going to open your game up so much, and then from there, that's when you start adding counters, right? So once people start knowing you got the pull-up jumper, that's when you might have to start adding a step back or a snatch. When people know that you're going to try to get downhill and get in the paint, you might need to snatch, right? So, but the first shots you need to be able to make are catch and shoot shots, pull-up jumpers, layups, and 2-foot floaters. And that will just do wonders for your game, right? So that's what you need to look at. Check it out. If you need help with drills, check out my training app. If you want to see just the raw the raw film of Kyrie's game, check out my training app. It's all in there. Make sure you comment below. Tell me what skills you need help with, what players you want to see, and I'll make sure I get on that for you guys. I have just a ton of film that I just break down all the time. So I'm here to help you become a better hooper.